Hello, PD families. Myself, Miss Wagoner, and Miss Ross, we're back with another Bear Time video. I want to start by saying the questions you guys are submitting are awesome, and they've been in really different categories. So it's been fun to talk about school logistics, social emotional stuff. We have a totally different question today, and it's from a parent or a caregiver, and it says, how could we go about trying to get a less dated playground? Because our playground's it's a little older.
Yeah, I feel like I could have gone to school on this playground.
Yeah, it looks like one that I went to as well.
But yeah. All right, so that's a really good question. To answer that question, let me give you a little bit of the background behind why we have the playground. The building was renovated in 2000. We moved back in at the end of 2019, 2020. And prior to that, it was pretty old and the playground kind of matched the aesthetic of the building. So it was ready for an update. When the community passed the bond, the money was dedicated to the spaces that needed the improvements the most. So the building, definitely. And then we also did the parking lot area and just updated all those. If you were here, there were bumps and lumps. And it was also some of the pavement out on the covered play area. So there were lumps and bumps everywhere. And we freshened all of that up and then focused on the building. But the playgrounds, oh my gosh, it is old and we would love to have it renovated. So we've tried a couple of things. If we ever see a big grant, we like to apply for grants. Ideally, we would like to redo the entire playground at once, because then we're only redesigning the footprint of the playground one time if we do redesign it. And that's important because we're on an old orchard ground here. And so anytime that we break ground where we are in a different footprint, we need to test the soil, bring in soil management crews, and work with scientists to make sure that it's safe to renovate in that area so the soil doesn't have any arsenic in it, because it's an old orchard area.
And weren't you saying too that it's more cost effective to do the whole thing at once instead of piece by piece?
Yes, especially because you have one person doing or one company doing all of the work at once, rather than paying for the work and the company for one piece and then redoing all of that for another piece. Typically what we've found is you get a better bang for your buck if it's the whole thing at once.
So it sounds like we need quite a chunk of change to do it all at one time. Okay.
Right. We're thinking in between $100,000 to $300,000. $100,000 would be at the low end and the same footprint but we could still get some new playground in there and maybe new flooring and stuff. But we called in an expert. We said, expert, go into our playground and tell us everything wrong with it. Because we were hoping the dated nature of our playground would provide a lot of information that we could then add into one of our grants that we were working on. And he came, he explored, he looked, he provided feedback, and it was pretty positive. So although it's dated, it's very functional and safe, which might be one reason we have not received a grant yet based on need for our playground. But if you are a grant writer or you know of a grant writer and you see one of those big grants, those really, really big grants available, please let us know. I'll work with you. Our district and grounds staff and crew will work with you. We would love to get an updated playground. And we do have an updated slide this year.
We do have a new slide.
Phew.
And I will say, the kids love the playground.
I know,
I don't hear anybody noticing that it's old. I don't know that most of them, it's not on their radar. So
it's amazing how much they love it. And also there's a variety of toys out there, which is pretty nice. In a new playground, it would be you'd have a little bit more of a flow, but maybe not as much exploration.
Yeah.
All right. So families, thank you for your question. Have a fantastic week. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.